tell, then you see the road. I'm out to my soul into the size whenever the smoke clear out of my face and my picture perfect.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to Cypherfics. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the fourth part of, What If Dannyphantom Meets Five Nights at Freddy's? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of Phantom Fan 21 on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Danny's old office. I forgot how small this office was, Danny said, looking around. We sometimes come back here to remind ourselves of how we first met you, Bonnie said. Actually, I met you girls in the party area. When I notices that Freddy was missing from the stage. Danny told her. Well, please have a seat, Bonnie said, still trying to calm down. Bonnie, if you still unsure. Danny started. No, I can do this. Please. She said, making Danny sigh. Okay, but unlike with Chica yesterday, I'm not feeling very corny right now, Danny said, sitting. Well, I got a song that will help with that. It's something I've been wanting to do during our little get-together when we kind of give in at that time. Bonnie said. She started humming before walking up to Danny. Danny was surprised when she leaned forward, making him look at her melons. Bonnie kept humming before she started to bounce herself, making her melons bounce as well. Danny blushed as Bonnie kept humming. She then sat down, pushing her melons into his face. Sure enough, Danny felt his pants stretch. Bonnie smiles, ready to start the next part of her song. She rubs against it, making Danny groan. She then reaches behind her and carefully grabs the still-covered PP and rubs it. Danny tried his best not to him too loud as Bonnie smiles. She finally undid his pants, letting the huge PP out. She then places her peach cheeks on it, rubbing as the next part of her song started. Bonnie. Danny groans, wondering how the girls felt so soft. Just a few more notes. She said, humming again. Danny could only groan as Bonnie kept rubbing her peach cheeks on his pages. It grew bigger and Bonnie looked before her. Now, for the main lyrics. She said, standing up. She removes her panties and started to push the PP inside. Bonnie bit the bottom of her lip, feeling it going deep as she pushed down. Finally, she loudly, as Danny groans once it was fully inside. Bonnie. Why are you tighter than others? Danny asked, trying to stop himself from leaking early. So, you're enjoying my song? Bonnie asked, smiling. I'm guessing you want me to make you sing the rest of it? Danny asked. Please. I want you to make me sing. Bonnie said. Danny nods before grabbing Bonnie's waist. Bonnie could tell he had an idea in mind and wrapped her legs around his waist. Danny stood up, holding the blue anime rabbit girl before thrusting. He already did this sitting down the last 2 times, so he wanted to try doing it while standing up. Danny thrusts, making Bonnie and groan at first, clearly trying to make sure they are both into it. Danny looks at her face and could tell she was ready. Alright. I'm going to move faster. Please don't squeeze me too tight. He told her. Bonnie nodded before pulling him into a hug. Knowing she was ready, Danny moved harder, making her cry out. Oh, Danny. She sang, feeling him smack his hips on hers. Danny moved closer to the wall, letting Bonnie lay on it as he kept thrusting. Bonnie kept singing as she felt him turn her insides out. Though, she wasn't fully human yet. But it felt like that to her. Danny could feel himself getting ready to blow and couldn't warn her in time. Bonnie cried out as Danny shot inside her. Danny groans as well, feeling himself shoot a few more times, making Bonnie sing a few extra notes. Danny panted, still wondering how the girls felt so amazing for being animatronics. Did having SEC with them help them somehow? Bonnie? Danny asked, feeling that she didn't let go. Another song? She asked, wanting to go again. Are you sure? Danny asked. Yes. I would like to request another song. Bonnie said. Alright, Danny said, getting ready to have her sing again. 5 a.m. Danny panted as he leaked again, making Bonnie end her new song once more. This time, he was too tired to request another song. Bonnie, I'm running out. I don't think I have any more requests in me. Danny said, feeling that his legs were about to give out. That's fine. My voice was starting to hurt from all that singing. She said, unwrapping her legs. She stood on her own feet before she heard something move inside her. Holy! If we went another round, the balloon would have burst and my exoskeleton could have messed up. She thought. Danny sat down in his old chair after pulling himself out. Sure enough, his juices started to pour out of Bonnie, making her hum a few more notes. Oh, that was the best song I ever made. She said, panting. Danny nodded. Feeling really tired. Bonnie walked up and kissed Danny before moving away. We kind of did it all night. But I'm glad we did. Thank you. She said. All night? Danny asked, looking at the clock. Well, we better get clean up. No point in looking off to the kids. Bonnie said, looking for some napkins. She found some sitting on the desk with a letter from Marionette. Bonnie read the letter and smiled. We'll give him a break after Foxy's turn. She thought, throwing the note away after reading it. Bonnie turns back to Danny, seeing he was trying not to pass out. You know, you should come and visit during the day. She said. Kind of hard when I'm still in school, Danny said, knowing he still had another month before he was finally done with his senior year. I'm not saying you should right away. Just whenever you felt like it. Bonnie said, wiping her legs off. I'll think about it, Danny said, sighing. 3 nights, 3 girls. I'm started to think that all of them want to have a CC with me. I better prepare myself for the next one. He thought. Danny's house, 6 p.m. Danny sighed as Tucker was unable to find anything because his PDA got crushed on his way home and had to order a new one. That was going to take until next week. That left Danny with one other choice, Charlie. He picks up his cell phone and calls her number. Hello. Hey, Charlie, it's Danny. He said, surprising her. Danny? What's wrong? Are you unable to make it tonight? No, it's not that. I have a few questions about your father if that's all right. He said. You want to know how hired you when my father has been dead for 10 years, right? It's still strange. I met him on the day he hired me and he even told me he talked to my mom. My mom also confirmed it when I spoke to her after my first night. Danny said. I don't know what to tell you. I've been looking into it myself. I can't find anything about it. I know my father passed from old age, but that's it. Danny sighs. This was adding more to the mystery of Amity Park. Could his parents be wrong? Could there be ghosts in the town? Danny? Yeah. I want you to know that even if this whole thing is strange, I'm glad that you're helping the girls. If you want, I can sign the Fazbear Company to you. No. I don't want to own the girls. I know Foxy was twisting her words due to being a pirate, but I think they deserve their freedom. I'll be glad to continue being a night guard. He said, shaking his head. All right. I'm happy to hear that. Danny smiles, glad to hear that Charlie felt the same way. Well, thanks anyways. I'm going to get some sleep before heading to my shift. He said. All right. Good night, Daniel. Good night, Charlotte. Danny hangs up and sighs. Maybe he should try to get the girls to help. They were built by him after all. Danny knew he had 6 more hours and decided to spend some time unpacking. He still had a lot of things to set up, after all. Anime conviction, midnight. Danny exited the locker room, wearing his night guard outfit. He was surprised to see none of the girls welcoming him at the doors, but he knew they knew he was there. Ahoy, fist mate. Danny turns and saw Foxy walking up. Hello, Foxy. Where's everyone? Danny said, then asked. Freddy and Bonnie are helping Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. Chica is making pizza. She said, smirking. And I hear about your nights of love making with me friends. She whispers, making him blush. Well. Danny tried to say. Foxy could only smile before slamming a hand on his back, almost knocking him over. Say, do you want to join me in a treasure hunt? She asked. Treasure hunt? Danny said, making sure his back wasn't thrown out. Mangle is still stuck in her cove. And BB is under timeout with Marionette. Foxy said. I thought Mangle was comfortable about leaving her cove. Danny asked. She's been thinking about something. I don't know what. I didn't ask. Foxy said. And what did BB do? Danny asked, unknowingly following Foxy to her cove. She wanted to enter your office naked again. She's heard about your nights with me friends and is trying to get a turn. Foxy said. You know, I'm thinking all of you have heard about those nights, Danny said, sighing. Foxy said, smiling. Something tells me this treasure hunt has to do with that. Danny said, stepping into Pirate Cove. In some way. Foxy smirks. Danny sighs before he finally notices where he was. Gah, I still have the Fenton luck. He groans. You had no idea we were heading to Pirate Cove? Foxy asked, trying not to laugh. Danny shook his head before looking at Foxy. So, what do you need? He asked, knowing what was coming. Not yet, lad. I would like your help first. She said. With what? Danny asked, confused. Swabbing the deck. Normally, I get Bonnie or Chica to help me, but they're busy. Foxy said, placing a hand on her peach. She was clearly trying to act cecy toward him, making Danny fight a blush from appearing. After that, you want your treasure? He asked. You're a quick study, lad. She said, still smiling. You heard about my other nights. I think I'm starting to get what's going on. Danny said, shaking his head. Foxy smiles before she kicked a boom towards him. Danny caught it and saw Foxy hold up another one. Tell you what, lad. Whoever cleans the most can get first dibs on the treasure. She said. Foxy, you're a pirate and animatronic. You'll just backstab me. Danny said. Me? Backstab me first, mate. What kind of pirate do you think I am? Foxy asked, fake hurting. Danny just narrows his eyes, making the female fox laugh. Alright, I swear on Davy Joe's locker I'll play fair. She said, crossing her heart. Danny sighs. He knew better than to trust a pirate's word, but Foxy was different than most pirates. Fine. But if you cheat, no treasure. He told her. Agreed. Foxy smiles. 1 a.m. It took an hour to clean up Foxy's cove, but they did it. You beat me, Foxy said, not at all upset. Danny sighs before facing Foxy. Your treasure is the same as the others, right? He asked. Do what you want to me. Foxy said, standing still. Danny sighs, knowing this would turn into another night of section. He already did it with Freddy, Chica, and Bonnie, he might as well do it with Foxy. He walks up to her before grabbing her melons. Chica already told me that the feeling program was removed from you. But it is to help me get ready for the main event. He told her. Not a problem, Danny. Feel free. She said, smiling. Danny played with her melons a bit before moving his hands to her sides. Danny was surprised to feel how smooth Foxy was. As if she really has the curves most girls would die for. He finally steps behind Foxy, carefully pushing himself on her. Oh. Almost there? She asked, moving her tail out of the way. I need help with the next part, Danny said, blushing. Say no more, Foxy said, rubbing her peach against Danny. Sure enough, Danny felt his pee-pee starting to harden and notices that Foxy's panties were starting to slide down during the rub. He pulls away and pulls out his pee-pee. Before I put my key in, I want to do something first. Is that alright? He asked. Foxy said, not against it. Danny sighs before rubbing his pee-pee between her peach cheeks, feeling how soft they were. Just like Bonnie's. He thought, rubbing slowly. Foxy wishes the feeling problem in her wasn't removed, but she could tell that Danny was enjoying himself. Suddenly, she felt Danny slide inside her. DMN. Sorry, Foxy. Danny said, getting ready to pull back out. He was surprised to see Foxy's tail wrapped around his waist, stopping him from doing so. The key is in its chest. You might as well open it. She said, looking behind her. Danny sighs, understanding what Foxy was saying. He's already in her, might as well enjoy the treasure. He started thrusting, feeling the same feeling he got from the others. Foxy? He asked, making the pirate fox look at him. Do you have the balloon inside you? He asked. We all do. Since we don't have the same organs as you yet, we added the balloon that Spring Bonnie had. She said, using her tail to make him move. Okay, I was wondering about that, Danny said, sighing. That explains why Freddy, Chica, and Bonnie didn't glitch out after they were done. At least he knew they would be safe. Danny move again, hearing Foxy I guess we should have told you one thing. She said, making him keep thrusting. Since we are becoming more human, we are getting the sense of feeling back. It's not affecting everything yet, but it's a start. She said, smiling. Danny sighs. He got what she meant and he decided to take action this time. Alright. Feel free to cry out, Captain. He said, thrusting harder. Foxy did cry out. Danny held on to her peach as he kept thrusting, making Foxy continue to cry out. Oh yes. Give me your treasure. Unlock the chest. She cried out. Danny kept thrusting, feeling himself getting lost in the feeling. His pants slid off, along with Foxy's panties. Foxy leads forward, getting on her hand, hook, and knees. Danny followed her, not stopping. Keep it up, first mate. The treasure awaits. Foxy cried out, wishing she could leak. Danny PNDS her, feeling himself about to blow. Foxy. He said, finally shooting into her. Foxy feeling his treasure filling up her melons. Danny panted, wondering if he was getting used to this. My turn, Foxy said, using her tail to carefully throw Danny on the ground. Danny was dazed for a second before Foxy sat down on him, pushing his pee-pee back inside. I still got room for more treasure. Let's fill it up with it. She said, bouncing up and down. Danny groans, already knowing this would take a while. 5 a.m. Danny held Foxy close as they share a kiss as he thrusts inside her. Finally, he leaks into her again, making him break the kiss. Foxy held on to him, ready for another round. Come on, first mate. I'm not full yet. She said, using her tail to make him move again. Foxy, I can't. I'm all out. Danny said, panting. Are you sure? I think you have a little more treasure in ya. Foxy said. Not letting go. Danny started to fight back, trying to separate from her. Foxy, I need to rest. It's also 5 in the morning. He said, making her stop. Say what? Foxy asked, looking at the clock. It is 5. Darn, I was hoping to go longer. She said, letting go of Danny. Danny pulled out and looked for his clothes. He found them and started to put them on. However, he was suddenly hugged by Foxy, almost knocking him over. Once you have more treasure, I want it locked away inside me chest, understand? She asked, smirking. Danny could only nod. He made a bet with a pirate and it's not going to be easy to get out of. As long as you let me rest from time to time. He added. Deal. She said, giving Danny another kiss. 4 nights. I really hope I get a break soon. Danny thought, pulling his pants up. Caper high, noon. Dash growls as he saw Danny walking into the cafeteria. He knew something was up with those animatronics and no one believed him. He tried to get back at Danny, but it was clear that none of the teachers overlooked his actions anymore. With high school coming to an end this month, Dash knew he won't be able to mess with Fenton. He was so close to having him as a servant, and Fenton undid the bet. Dash was sure that he won. He thought for sure Fenton wouldn't get a job. He thought he won. Dash groans, very upset. He couldn't believe that Fenton got a job and kicked him out. He notices Fenton checking his bag, and growls. Dash, don't. One of the A-listers told him. Shut up. Fenton is not going to get away with this. Dash almost shouted. And risk letting a teacher see you? Dash, they told you and everyone else. No more freebies. High school is coming to an end in 3 weeks, and we have to behave or we'll be held back for another year. Another said. And the teachers won't be on our side either. A third one said. Dash growls before getting an idea. Then how about we get Fenton fired? He asked. We already tried that. The A-listers told him, rolling their eyes. Last time, we tried to scare him only for those robots to start attacking us. This time, I say we show everyone poof. Dash said, smiling. The A-listers looked at each other before shaking their heads. While they pick on Fenton a few times, they all have a limit. Dash just fails to see that Fenton is far different than he looks. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Dash, for the love of God, leave Danny alone. The second member said. What? Dash asked, surprised. Look, we like messing with Fenton too, but lately, we're growing bored. Fenton has a job, he has his own house, and he making money from said job. It's time to move on. The second member said. Not to mention Fenton has the right idea. Our parents won't be able to back us up anymore once high school was over. The A-listers don't exist out of high school. The third member said. You got to be kidding me. Dash said, surprised. You said so yourself back in 9th grade. Once our high school years were up, everything was going to be downhill. It's time we move on and start thinking of our dreams. Besides, I'm done with sports for a while. A fourth member said. What? Dash said, still shocked. You and Paulina just don't get it. Your life isn't going to be the same once high school is over. The second member told him. What are you guys talking about? Dash said, refusing to believe what they were saying. We're saying that you are too wrapped up in frame and glowy to see that your life is not going to be like that outside of school. All of the A-listers yelled. You want to keep picking on Fenton, fine. See where it gets you. And since Fenton is a full-grown person, he has every right to stop you and not put up with your actions. And, you're still in trouble for your latest stun. Meaning, if you get in trouble again, you can very much go to jail. Dash blinks as his so-called friends walked away. He growls before turning to Fenton once more. He ruined everything, like always. And he was going to get back on him. Anime convention midnight. Danny exited the locker room, wearing his suit. The girls were giving him a break from SEC for the rest of the week and he was glad for it. The past 4 nights were something and Danny was glad that his mind was clear for the night. He looks up to see Spring Bonnie and Fred Bear on the stage, singing together. Welcome to Freddy's Pizza Place. We serve out pizza and games. Join the fun. They sang. Danny smiles, remembering that they were the first Freddy and Bonnie back in the day. Michael had done some repairs for both girls. Spring Bonnie had her holes patched up and some of her wires were removed. However, her ears were still damaged. Michael needed to find some more parts before he could do that. Fred Bear wasn't too badly damaged thanks to Charlie keeping her in good shape. She needed a nice clean, however. Nice to see you two getting back into things. He said once they were done. Thanks, Danny. It was a blast singing with Sis again. Spring Bonnie said. Tell me about it. It's been years since I used my singing voice again. Fred Bear said. Never thought I'll be the first person to rehear a performance from first Freddy and Bonnie. Danny smiles. By the way, how are you feeling, Spring Bonnie? Danny asked her. Well, my systems haven't acted up. Not even after how Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy had SEC with you each night. She said, not feeling her systems acting up like before. I'm also glad you don't have the killer code in you, Danny said, sighing. Make 2 of us. Spring Bonnie agreed. Well, I'm going to check on the others. Think you two can behave for a while? Danny told them. Don't worry, Danny. After what you did for my sister, I'll make sure she'll stay out of trouble. Fred Bear said, smirking. Spring Bonnie rolled her eyes as Danny chuckled. Just make sure you two are careful. Not everyone knows you've returned. Danny told them. Will do. They said and Danny soon left. Okay, Bonnie, tell me the truth, Fred Bear said once he was gone. I meant it. My systems have been normal since that program was removed. Spring Bonnie said. Not that. You want to F him again, don't you? Fred Bear said, smiling. Yes. But unlike last time, I can wait. He's cute, but I'm not going to make the same mistake. Spring Bonnie said. Still haven't forgiven yourself? Fred Bear asked. I'm trying. RPE is not something that can go away over time. I've been reactive longer than you. I went without it for so many years. I know Michael wants to reconnect, but I keep seeing that boy that was scared of me when that happened. No matter how many times I try to erase it or replay the words Michael said, it keeps popping up. Spring Bonnie said, looking down. Fred Bear placed a hand on her sister's shoulder. Spring Bonnie looked back up and saw her sister smile. The two soon hugged, their sister relationship not fading even after 20 years of being shut down/imprisoned. Suddenly, Spring Bonnie spotted a shadow by the door. She broke the hug and quietly walked over to it. She placed a damaged ear on the door and heard a voice. Okay, I got here without anyone noticing and I have my phone to record those girls. This will teach Fenton to kick me out. Spring Bonnie narrows her eyes, knowing that voice. Bonnie? Fred Bear walked up, confused. Shoo. Spring Bonnie said, moving away. She carefully opened the door and saw Dash messing with his phone before growling softly. And here I thought I got him to back off. She said, pulling away. Who? Fred Bear asked. Just. Some as that forced Danny into taking this job in the first place. Not that it's a bad thing, but this guy wanted to get Danny fired, and the others put on a scare show for him. Looks like he still hasn't learned his lesson. Spring Bonnie said, shaking her head. Who is he? Fredbear asked. Dash Baxter. A huge JRK that picks on Danny because he thinks he's a wimp. Spring Bonnie told her. And why is he here? Fredbear asked, knowing the convention was close right now. From what I heard, he going to try and record the girls. We had put up a fact that having us being alive is too dangerous for this time. We might have been accepted during our time, but lots have changed since then. Spring Bonnie said. Fredbear give it some thought. She might not know Danny as long as the others. From what she heard so far, Danny was kind and understanding. He never forced himself or the girls into something they weren't ready for. Fredbear would be lying if she say she didn't have some feelings toward him. Maybe not as strong as Freddy, but it was something. Alright then. What should we do? She asked. Spring Bonnie smirks, getting different ideas of how they could make this night fruitful for Dash. A few minutes later. Freddy was walking down the hall, humming to herself. She was growing closer to being human every day. For now, she wanted to enjoy this little walk. Hey, Freddy. She turns and saw Fredbear walking up. Freddy. I mean, Fredbear. She said, surprised. Easy, cub. Just came to see how you're doing. Fredbear said. Fine. Fine. I'm still having trouble believing I'm meeting you. Freddy said. Well, you did crash when you first saw me. Fredbear giggles. I just wasn't accepting you. I mean, how many people do you know say they met the first Freddy after 20 years? Freddy asked. I never thought I could meet the next Freddy. But I told you before, I'm proud of what you're doing. You do the Fredbear name proud. Fredbear smiles. Thanks. Freddy blushed. Fredbear smiles before noticing something from the corner of her ear. She spotted the boy named Dash peeking in the window, trying to record them. Can you excuse me, for a moment? Fredbear asked, walking away. Freddy looked confused before thinking to herself. I wonder if I could get Danny to marry me once I'm fully human. Maybe I should wait on that. I don't want to scare him. She thought. Freddy jumps when she heard a loud bang and saw Fredbear on the ground. Fredbear. Are you okay? She asked, rushing up. I'm fine, I tripped. Not even the great Fredbear can be perfect. Fredbear said. In truth, Fredbear popped in front of the window, scaring Dash so much he fell. To cover the noise, Fredbear let herself fall to the ground. She and Spring Bonnie will tell Danny about Dash later. Right now, Fredbear was all for having some fun. Well, okay, Freddy said, helping her up. Later. Bonnie sitting at one of the tables, thinking over some songs she could use for the kids. Of course, the special song she made with Danny was for her only. She shook her head, this wasn't the time. However, she heard someone walking up and turned to see Spring Bonnie. Hey, Bonnie. How's my favorite blue bunny doing? Spring Bonnie asked. Hey, Bon Bon. I'm doing fine. Bonnie said. Much like Freddy, Bonnie was surprised to meet Spring Bonnie and learn that she was the first Bonnie. However, the two got to know each other a bit better than Freddy and Fredbear. Though, in Freddy's defense, Fredbear hasn't been here long. What brings you here? Bonnie asked. Just want to thank you all for helping my sister fit in. I'm still getting used to this myself. Spring Bonnie said. Bon Bon, we told you, we just helping, Bonnie said, smiling. I know. But I still can't thank you all enough. Spring Bonnie said, spotting Dash from the corner of her eye. Bon Bon? Bonnie asked, noticing. Sorry, I'll be right back. She said, walking away. Bonnie looked confused before looking back at her musical ideas. I wonder if Danny could help me. Better make sure that I clear up what kind of song I want. Bonnie thought. She jumps when she heard a scream. She quickly ran towards the sound and saw Spring Bonnie holding a phone. Bonbon? She asked. Sorry about that, Bonnie. It seems our guest hasn't learned his lesson. Spring Bonnie said. Guest? Bonnie asked, confused. 1 a.m. Danny taps his foot as Spring Bonnie and Fredbear brought Dash inside. Danny understood that the two were just having a bit of fun messing with Dash, but remind them to tell him since it was his job to watch over the convention at night. So, you decide to return after your parents warned you last time, Danny said as the girls stood behind him. I knew they were alive. Dash said only for Spring Bonnie to crush his phone in her hand. Yes, Dash. They are alive. And you have no poof. We plan on keeping it that way for now. Danny said as Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy glared at Dash. I'm sure you remember Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy. Don't worry, they're not going to hurt you. Danny said before BB, Marionette, and Mangle stepped up. And these are BB, Marionette, and Mangle. They are aware of you as well. Danny said. BB looked ready to slap Dash but held herself back. Marionette was ready for anything he might try as Mangle glared at him. And you already met Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, Danny said. And for the big finale. Danny said, hearing a car pull up. Soon, the doors opened and Charlie and Michael stepped in. Meet the new owners and my new bosses. Charlie and Michael, the children of the creators of the girls. Danny said. What? Dash asked, confused. So, this is the guy? Michael asked. Already destroyed his phone, Spring Bonnie said. All because Danny get him in trouble the last time he was here, Freddy told them. We heard about that. Like my father before me, nice job, Danny. Charlie said. Actually, the thanks go to Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. They stopped him. After having a little scared with him first. Danny said, causing the two girls to blush. Wow, I haven't blushed in a long time, Fredbear said. You'll get used to it again, Spring Bonnie said. Well then, next work you two, Michael said, smiling. Alright, here's the deal. 1. You can forget everything you saw and go about your life. Or, we have you arrested for trespassing. Charlie told Dash. And the cops don't care about sports or any of the A-listers things, Danny spoke up. And if we caught you coming around here after hours again, then it will be jail time for you, Michael warned. Dash wanted to say something, but he was far outnumbered. Fine. He said, but Danny knew him. Oh no, Dash. This is no fine with you. I've known you for 4 years. You don't stop at all. I can see you still want to get back at me for whatever stupid reason because you can't expect that the world is not what you think. As this is all over, you'll be right back at it. Danny said, glaring. Dash blinks before growling. He was about to say something, but Danny stopped him. Don't even try it. Danny said, getting in Dash's face for once. I work as the night guard here, and I hold more power over you. Danny said, unknowingly causing Spring Bonnie and Michael to flinch. You will listen to what we say or so help me I'll call the police myself. Danny yelled. Like they'll believe you. Dash said. You still think that you're untouchable? No one is untouchable. Danny shouted at the top of his lungs. This time, Fredbear and Charlie flinched at that line. Danny steps back before taking a breath. This world is not in black and white. The world is not your oyster. Nothing is going to be the same when high school is over. Get over yourself, Dash. Danny said, walking away. The first 4 girls looked worried before following him. BB looked more upset before she grabs Dash herself. Listen here you big stupid JRK. We are going easy on you and you better be glad. Don't think we are going to forget this. She shouted before noticing that Dash was staring at her melons. "Eyes up here!" she yelled, scaring him. "You will listen to Danny or you will learn how we deal with trespassers our way," she said. "And let us all warn you, we learned a few weeks ago that we were supposed to be murderers before we were fixed. However, we're all holding ourselves back," Marionette told him. "And he has been nothing but kind to us. We don't want him to leave," Mangle added. "So, listen to us and we won't have a problem, or should I remind you what I did when we first met?" Spring Bonnie asked, glaring. Dash wanted to call their bluffs, but seeing Spring Bonnie's eyes staring into his soul made him remember the dread feeling he got once before. "And to hammer the lesson in, we're calling your parents and telling them everything you've done," Michael said. Dash wanted to say something but notices that no one was going to let him speak. In fact, BB slaps a piece of tape over his mouth to stop him from talking. "Deal with it," she said. After Dash was handed back to his parents, and given one last warning, Danny sat in his office with Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy close by. "Danny? Are you okay?" Freddy asked. "Am I okay? Let's see, Dash has been a JRK to me for the past 4 years, trying to get me fired, exposing all of you, and going back to his stupid ways because he can't accept his own mistakes and he takes it out on me all the time. Yeah, I'm just peachy," Danny said, causing Freddy to flinch away. None of the girls hear him speak like this before. Sure, he got mad, but this sounded like he was pissed. Danny notices Freddy flinch in size. "I'm sorry. It just, no many how many times I tell him, no many what others say, Dash doesn't stop. No matter what happens to him, he blames me for his stupid SHT. Like everything is my fault and I'm the one that has to be punished. I've known Dash during all 4 years of high school and not once has he changed his ways. It's so annoying and the teachers are now just starting to do something about it," Danny said, groaning. Freddy carefully walks up and hugs him. The others soon join as Danny made no move to push her away. They all carefully hug him, knowing they weren't fully human yet. "Look, Danny. It doesn't matter if Dash keeps getting away with these things. Sooner or later, it would hurt him hard and he'll face the reality of his actions. If he was to try anything like this again, then we'll call the cops," Freddy said. "Yeah, we like you for who you are. Sure, we got a little kissy when you started, but you stayed. You got to know us. Even had SEC with us," Chica said, blushing. "And we're happy about that. You stay here for months, even after learning the truth about us," Bonnie said. And you didn't freak out about the killer code we didn't even know we had," Foxy added. Danny smiles, glad they didn't think differently of him. "Can we join too?" They turned and saw the rest of the girls at the door. Danny nods and the 4 back away. BB, Marionette, and Mangle hugged him next, then Freebear and Spring Bonnie after them. Michael and Charlie both watched, still a little shocked by the words Danny used at Dash. "I hold more power over you. No one is untouchable." Those words were the last words both their fathers said to each other before they had their fallout. However, they knew Danny wasn't like their fathers. He was speaking out of anger to the person that bullied him during his whole school years. Well, they plan on making some changes to that. Weekend, Danny's day off. Michael sighs as he was able to get the teachers to agree to a meeting at the school. They tried to make it after school was over, but Michael got them to set it up for today. Charlie sighs as she puts on her suit, having barely worn it. "I hate this thing," she said, groaning. "It only for a few hours, or from what Danny told us, a few minutes if the teacher can't see they let this get away with this too much," he told his wife. "I know. I do like Danny. He's so nice to the girls. He's even taken care of Fredbear and Spring Bonnie," she said, smiling. "She still hasn't forgiven herself for what happened all those years ago," Michael said. Though she played it off like it never happened, Michael could tell that Spring Bonnie still felt guilty about her action when he was a kid. She was always his favorite as a kid and still is to this day. He never blamed her for what happened. That was his dad's fault. He added that update without thinking of what would happen if a bug was to appear. He sighs as Charlie places a hand on his shoulder. "Michael," she said before her husband smiles. "I'll talk to her about it. For now, let's make sure that Danny's school does not repeat this in the future," he said. Charlie nods, hoping things will go all right. Meanwhile, the girls walked around the convention, knowing Danny was on his day off and the place was closed down to recharge the girls. All of them did their own thing, but Freddy groaned as she sat at the table. "Ugh. These days are the worst," she said. The others knew why she was acting like this. It was one of the days that Danny was off work. But Freddy wanted to see him again. However, since they weren't human, they couldn't leave the convention. Freddy tried to leave once, only for her body to suddenly drain a few feet past the door. The next thing she knew, she was back inside the convention and none of the girls tried to leave. Though, Fred Bear and Spring Bonnie were able to live outside of the convention. They explained their old home was gone and they weren't tied down. Or at least that's what they think. "It's just for a few days, Freddy," Chica told her. "I know." Freddy groans. "You really like him, don't you?" Fred Bear asked. "He's my first crush," Freddy said. "Many night guards that came here were our crushes. But none of them stayed. Danny is the only one that has." Chica told her. "I see," Fred Bear said, thinking. "Why can't I be human faster?" Freddy asked, wanting to live with Danny. Bonnie patted her shoulder, trying to calm her down. Foxy walked up, seeing how her friends were acting. "Ahoy, mates. What's with the doom and gloom?" she asked. "Freddy misses Danny," Chica said. That's what I thought," she said, knowing Freddy gets like this every time Danny is on his break. However, they notice BB walking past them, holding a box of party items. "BB? What are you doing?" Bonnie asked. "Just getting ready to party for Danny's graduation," she said, smiling. "That not until 2 more weeks, Chica said." "It's never too late to party," BB said, smiling. "We just had to let her watch MLP." Chica groans. "It was the only thing we can do to get her to stop trying to have SEC with Danny," Marionette said. The other nodded, knowing that BB was trying every night to get Danny to have SEC with her. They were able to keep her away so far, but they weren't sure how long they could keep it up. "She going to try the minute Danny walked through doors on Monday," Foxy said. "Should we let her?" Mangle asked. "Might as well," Fred Bear said. "Why?" the others asked. "Because I know. How's she acting? I was the same way," Spring Bonnie said. "What do you mean?" Freddy asked. "Remember my gitch? I went crazy after having SEC for the first time and I kept begging for more. Even up to where she started before trailing off." Fred Bear hugged her, but everyone got what she was saying. BB was going crazy because she wanted to have it. They decide they will let her have it the next time Danny came in, but they all felt they should at least warn him first. Freddy sighs, wishing Monday was already here. With Charlie and Michael. The two exited the school, sighing. They were able to get the school to change their ways for the new year. No more A-listers, no more favoritism, and no more Dash. After informing them what he tried to do last night, they gave a clear warning that they have every right to sue the school for not teaching the teens the real lessons they should be teaching. They arrived home and Charlie went to change. Michael sat down before looking at a picture of himself, Charlie, Fred Bear, Spring Bonnie, and their fathers. It was sad to learn his mother left when he was still a baby. Spring Bonnie ended up before his second mother before the RPE. However, he knew he had to help Spring Bonnie get over that as she was still upset about it. Charlie helped him as much as he could. Maybe it's time to do the same. Casper High, 11 a.m. The school made some changes, letting the A-listers know that their days of ruling the school were over. Those that come back next year will not receive the same treatment they had since coming. The A-listers were no more. Dash was given a huge warning that if he went after Danny again, he would not only be held back, but his grades will remain true, showing that he never left freshman year. Danny kept an eye out for him, knowing the teachers would listen this time. However, he spotted Sam and Tucker walking up to him, Sam looking upset as Tucker sighs. "Hey, guys. What's up?" Danny asked. "Why didn't you tell me Henry Emily was dead for 20 years? Sam asked, upset. Danny looks at Tucker, who sighs. "Sorry, dude. She caught me in the middle of trying to find out and didn't have time to hide it," he said. "It's fine, Tuck," Danny said, sighing. "Well?" Sam asked. "With how you've been acting since I took the job, why do you think I never told you?" Danny asked her. Sam glares, making Danny shake his head. Sam, no one knew Henry passed away. "No, me, not my parents, not even the girls knew. I didn't know until I met his daughter," Danny told her. "And you didn't tell me?" Sam asked. "And you care now because?" Danny asked, knowing what she was trying to do. "I always cared about you," Sam said. "No, you care about having me as your boyfriend while forcing every girl away that so much talked to me. I know you want me to quit to leave the girls so you can win me over. That's not happening," Danny said. Sam blinked, wondering how he knew that. "I'm not the same clueless boy back in freshman year, Sam. I told you, I moved on. Yes, I had a crush on you, but we never went anywhere with it. Even after wising up, you still refuse it. I moved on. If you don't like it, too bad. It's not happening," Danny told her. "Danny, they're not human," Sam started. "Who cares?" Danny yelled. "You think I don't know that? Do you even stop to think that maybe there's more to a person than what they are? Have you ever tried talking to others besides me and Tucker?" Danny asked her. "Of course, I have," Sam said. "Name some," Danny asked her. Sam opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Sam looks through her memories and found no one she called a friend outside of Danny and Tucker. Danny could see her trying to think of someone in size. "Sam, stop. You really need to stop with your DMN pride. It has caused you nothing but trouble," Danny said, shocking her. "What?" Sam yelled. When the A-listers rule started settling down during junior year, some cheerleaders actually talked to me. And I do mean talked to me. Some mentioned how tired they were of Paulina and wanted to change the cheer they had. Some jocks even told me that they were tired of picking on me because it wasn't fun anymore. And since senior year started, Dash and Paulina were losing power. Nothing is the same anymore. And Charlie and Michael made sure that A-listers will never have power in the school again. I didn't care that you came from a rich family. I didn't care if you dress as a goth to stand out. But I do care about my life. If you can't see that I'm thinking of my future instead of yours, then why should we have a future together?" Danny told her. "Danny," Sam said, not wanting to believe those things. "Don't." Danny cut her off. "Even if it's not what you want to hear, I'm not going to stand around and just agree to your actions. A lot of your ideas could have led us into far more trouble in the past. It's one thing to help keep rainforests up since they are very important to the earth. It's another to force zoos to close down because the animals are kept to keep them safe or from going extinct," Danny said, shaking his head. "Face it, Sam, I didn't tell you because you're not as open-minded as you think. You claim to be different than your parents when in truth, you're just like them. He added. I'm not my parents. Sam shouted. Danny sighs, knowing Sam was being stubborn. So was he. Sam, I'm not going together with you. I'm past that. And all future answers are no. Danny said, turning away. Sam growls, still not wanting to believe Danny's words. Before she could go after him, Tucker stepped in her way. Move it, Tucker. Sam said. No, Tucker said, having gotten over Sam trying to scare him into things. Sam looked ready to push past him, but Tucker slapped her hand away. You need to stop, Sam. You do realize that you're pushing Danny away even more with this attitude of yours? Tucker asked her. Those things are taking Danny away from us. Sam said. No. You are pushing him away because you don't want to admit you lost. Tucker shouted, surprising the whole school. Sam, everyone thought you and Danny would have got together at the end of the school year, but you kept refusing your feelings. Feelings that everyone in the whole town knew. I knew, Danny's parents knew, even your parents knew. Tucker said. What? No, they didn't. Sam denied. Tucker turns to the other students, seeing some of them rolling their eyes. Who's the most likely couple to be together since freshman year? Tucker asked them. Dannyphantom and Sam Manson. They said. Sam blinks, even the new freshman knew. There's your proof. You need to move on, Sam. Danny is not a trophy. He's a person with his own free will. He can date whoever he chooses. No matter who they are. Tucker said. But. Sam tried to say. No, I don't want to hear it. And if you so much even think about exposing the girls, I will not take the fall. I'm on my way to earning Chica's forgiveness, and I'm not about to lose it because you can't accept that Danny is out of your reach. Tucker told her. Sam wanted to say something else, but Tucker glared at her. Just stop, Sam. You're not acting like a friend. You acting like a spoiled BRT that's not getting what she wants. Danny moved on, and so have I. You need to do the same before you do something really stupid and ruin your friendship with both me and Danny forever. Tucker yelled before stomping away. Sam wanted to say something, but couldn't find the words. The rest of the class started to whisper to each other, surprised to hear the three friends fight. Some girls mentioned how brave Tucker was standing up to Sam and how Danny was amazing to stand up to her. Sam couldn't move. She was frozen in place, even after the late bell rang. Danny's house, 5 p.m. Danny sighs as he thought about what happened in school. Of course Sam hasn't changed. She was still stuck in the past. Danny sighs, knowing he had a few more hours before he starts work. He had fully unpacked everything and already took care of his bills for the month. Danny still didn't get why Charlie paid him a huge amount of money, but he decided to not question a gift from the horse's mouth. It was helping him pay his bills, and that was fine with him. Danny thought about the girls, wondering if there was a way to help them become more human. As far as he knows, he has to get the company from Charlie, since it was owned by her father. Though, he still believes that Foxy was adding things. Still, he really liked the girls and didn't care what they were. He spent months with them and learned they were far more than what they seemed. Yes, he wasn't expecting having SEC with Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy to be better than he thought, but he was kind of glad he did. He knew that Freddy's wish was to have kids of her own, but she still hasn't become fully human. Danny sighs, he should think about that later. He needs to eat some dinner and get ready to sleep for a while. He had a feeling tonight was going to be a long one. Anime convention, midnight. Danny made it to his job, seeing the doors were unlocked for him. He steps in and saw Mangle waiting for him. Hey, Mangle. He said, smiling at the white vixen. Good, morning. Or is it still night? Mangle said, confused. Don't worry about it. I have a hard time telling myself. Danny told her, chuckling to himself. Well then, welcome back, Mangle said, bowing and little. Glad to see that you're recovering. Charlie told me what happened this morning. Danny said, feeling a bit sorry for her. Why yes. The others are doing their best to help me get over it. Chica has been the most help, through. She said, recalling how a few men ignored the rules and touched her melons. Danny nods, glad that Mangle was doing her best to get over it. He was about to head to the locker room before Mangle grabbed his arm. Danny? We, want to tell you something. She said, making him turn to her. What is it? Danny asked. It's about BB. We know she's not going to stop until she has it. So, we decide not to stop her this time. Mangle said, blushing. Has what? Danny asked, confused. However, the answer soon came to him. BB is waiting for me in my office? Danny asked. No, she's in her room. And we told her to keep her clothes on. Mangle told him. And after what happened with the others, I'm going to be stuck there all night. Danny sighed, not sure if he was ready for this. We can keep an eye on things for you. That's what we did when you had it with the others. Mangle told him. Danny sighs again, knowing he might as well get this over with. Thanks, Mangle. He said, nodding. The white vixen nods back and blushed. Danny walked towards BB's room and she sighs. BB is not the only one that wants it. She said to herself. BB's room. BB? Are you here? Danny asked, opening the door. He was a bit surprised to see that the room had lots of balloons and some party streamers. The room was also very colorful. Not enough to hurt his eyes, but felt like his head would hurt after looking at them for so long. BF. Danny was knocked to the floor as BB jumped on him from behind. Danny felt the breath get knocked out of him for a second as BB hugged him. You're here. We can finally do it. BB said, jumping off him. BB. Danny started. But where to start? Do we kiss first then undressed? She asked. BB, Danny said. Or do we get in bed and undress each other? She said, thinking. BB. Danny shouted, making her turn and batter her eyes. Yes. She asked. Look, I know you're excited, but we need to talk first, Danny said. Sure. BB said, jumping on the bed. First off, where did you get that bed? Danny asked, knowing that she didn't sleep. Oh. It's always been here. I'm trying to sleep like a normal human since I'm mostly human than the others. BB smirks. Okay. Danny said, raising an eyebrow. BB patted the spot next to her and Danny sighs. He sits down and saw BB leaned close to him, putting her hand on his leg. So, what do you want to do first? She asked. First. I want to clear something up. Danny said, sighing. BB looked surprised but didn't move from her spot. As you just said, you're more human-like than the others. So, I am very unsure about this. Yes, I know I did it with Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy, but that's beside the point. I like you as much as the others, but BB. You need to calm down on your actions. Danny told her. Why? Parties are my thing. BB asked. And I get that. But you can't just force those things onto me. I know you like me and I'm not against that. However, you need to understand that I'm different than most people. I would never force you into anything. Even if you were to beg, I would never do that. I know you want to have a CC with me ever since Freddy did on my birthday. But, you also have to remember, I'm human. I'm not just someone that can do it every time I come in. Danny told her. BB moves away, crossing her arms under her melons, thinking. And I know what happened to Mangle. Do you really think I'm going to do that to you or any of the other girls? Danny asked her. Nope. I know that. Those jerks were asking for it. I caught one of them trying to put his hand in her panties. Luckily, Charlie caught them and threw them out. Mangle remains hidden in her cove until closing time. BB said, frowning. And do you think I'll do that against her wishes? Danny asked. No. Freddy and the others have told us all about you since you start working here before we came in. When I saw you, I knew you were just as they said. So brave, funny, and cute. I wanted to be your girlfriend the minute I heard about you. I know Freddy claimed you first, but I couldn't help it. BB said. Why? Danny asked. Because I felt you were the greatest thing to happen. I love you, Danny. BB said, happily. Danny sighs. It seems that BB has some idea of what kind of person he was. However, BB leads close to him again, their noses touching. So, can you please have a CC with me? She asked, batter her eyes again. Danny sighs, knowing she'll keep asking until he said yes. Fine, but we need to take it slow, understand? Danny told her. BB nodded before kissing Danny. Danny kissed back, letting BB enjoy the feeling. He found himself being pushed on his back onto the bed as BB kissed him for a few more seconds. She then sits up, smiling. Danny watched as she pulled off her striped shirt like BR. Danny was surprised to see her melons. They even had tips. BB smirks before grabbing Danny's hands and placing them on her melons. How do they feel? She asked, smiling. Soft and real, Danny said. BB smiles. She then places her hands under Danny's shirt, feeling his chest. The two played with each other for a bit before BB pulled her hands away. She smiles before she moves off of Danny's lap, showing the huge budge he had. BB undid his pants, and pulled down his boxers, freeing his pages. BB grabbed it and started to JRK it with her hand. Danny started groaning as he felt BB's hand vibrate a little. However, she stopped before he could blow and puts her melons in between his PP. Danny did his best to remain still as BB melons F him. He hasn't calmed down from the hand JB and soon leaked in between her large melons. BB smiles, feeling Danny twitching. Once he stopped, BB pulled away and removed his pants and boxers. She then reached up and pulled off Danny's shirt. She then lay on top of him, kissing him again. Danny felt his hands move to BB's shorts and started to pull them off. BB didn't stop him and soon raised her peach for Danny's PP to spring up. Once she knew it was near her new PP, she pushed down, causing both of them to into their kiss. Once it was entirely in, BB started to bounce her peach up and down, finally having SEC with Danny. Danny had to push BB off him because he needed air but made no other move to stop her. BB kept bouncing until Danny leaked in her. However, Danny quickly rolled around, putting himself on top of BB. The human-like animatronic was surprised, but she soon smiles. Danny smiles back and started to move. He still had no idea why the girls felt so good or why he gets so into it, but he didn't care. He FBB throughout his shift. 5 a.m. Danny panted as he rolled off of BB after leaking in her for the 10th time. How was he able to do that for 5 hours? Where did all this stamina come from? BB as she felt her balloon was filled to the max, almost ready to pop. Thank you, Danny. I wanted months for this. She said, knowing she needed to change her balloon. Why you're www welcome. Danny said, feeling sore. BB looks at her BF, smiling to herself. She looked at the clock, knowing his shift will be over soon. She got up and covered Danny. Get some rest. We'll get you before your shift is over. She said, making him nod. BB. Danny said, making her turn back. I don't mind being your BF, but can you at least turn the party stuff down a little? He asked. I'll think about it, BB said, walking towards the door, both bothering to put her clothes back on. That's all I ask, GF, Danny said, surprising her. Anime convention, 10 a.m. Danny was called to work early. Charlie informed the school that they needed him for a special surprise and would give them a note on his return. Danny still had one more week of school before he was done. However, after what Dash did last week, he was glad to get away. He looks up as he saw Michael and Charlie standing on the stage, knowing what they were planning. Boys and girls, and parents of all ages. Welcome to Freddy Fazbear Anime Convention. Charlie said, making many kids cheer. We have two special guests for you all today. We found them a few weeks ago and my husband has been repairing them. It took a while but we are bringing them here for you today. For those that might remember, this convention was once a dinner that both me and my husband went to as kids. At the time, there were only two girls that we both came to love and see as our favorites. Back in the day, we knew them as Freddy and Bonnie. Charlie said. Many adults knew who Charlie was talking about. However, the kids were lost. Charlie smiles, knowing it was time. Don't worry, kids. They are the same as Freddy and Bonnie, you know, they just look different. And now as part of the Blast from the Past theme, I gave you all, Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. The Golden Girls. Charlie said, stepping aside. Michael opens the curtain as Fredbear and Spring Bonnie smile. Spring Bonnie was fully repaired. Her ears were now fully replaced. Hello, kids. Thank you for welcoming us onto the stage. Fredbear said, holding a mic. We all understand that you don't know us, but we can assure you that we're here to help you party. Spring Bonnie said. We'll start by performing the same song that our successors use, Fredbear said as Spring Bonnie played her old banjo. Danny smiles as the kids started to sing along with the main theme. He then spotted Stan, the day guard. Unlike him, Stan had no idea that the girls were in love and were in a relationship with Danny. Truthfully, Danny was glad for it. Hey, Stan, Danny said, walking up to him. Danny, this is a rare sight. Stan laughs. Stan had different hours. He works from the time the convention to the time it close. Which was before midnight. Danny guessed that girls must spend a few hours doing the things they wanted before he gets in. Well, the bosses called me in. I got to say, I'm glad Fredbear and Spring Bonnie are doing well. He said. How did you know about them? Stan asked. Charlie and Michael had me watch over them during my shift. They had to keep them surprised somehow. Danny told him. I get ya. Still, why can't I have girls that look like them? Stan said, sighing. Danny shook his head, feeling a bit sad for his fellow guard. Before he could say anything, something bumped his foot. Looking down, Danny spotted a small gift on wheels. He picks it up and opens it. He was surprised to see a letter. Danny, can I talk to you in the gift shop? It's important. Marionette. Danny blinks, confused. Marionette needs to talk to him. Made him wonder what this was about. Something wrong? Stan asked. There's something I need to check out. Mind covering for me? Danny told him, folding the letter. Sure. Stan nodded. Danny puts the letter in his pocket and heads to the gift shop. It was close to keeping the kids from trying to get early presents. Danny uses his badge to enter and looks around. Marionette? Are you home? Danny asked, knocking on her box. Sure enough, it opened and Marionette pulled herself up. Danny. You got my letter. She said, smiling. Yeah. You said it was imported. What's wrong? Danny asked. Marionette looks away, biting the lower part of her lip. She looked troubled and was trying to make up her mind on something. Marionette? What's wrong? Danny asked. Marionette sighs before placing her hands on Danny's shoulders. I'm sorry, she said, confusing him. Before he could ask, Marionette pulled him inside her box, which shuts afterward. Danny blinks, finding him pressed against Marionette's body. It was a lot soft than he thought. However, he was able to look at Marionette's face, which gave off a very blissful look. Oh, thank goodness. I couldn't hold back anymore, she said, happily. Marionette? Danny asked, confused. I'm really sorry, Danny, but I wanted you to be in here with me since you first asked. I did my best not to force you as you never forced me, but I couldn't hold back anymore, she said, looking a bit sad. Marionette. Danny started. I know we don't dream, but there are some nights that I'm inside this box, wondering what it would be like if I had someone else with me. You have always been the first guy on my mind for that. I couldn't wait any longer. I'm sorry, but can you just please hold me? She asked, holding him close. Danny sighs. He had never seen her like this. And he was surprised on how roomy the box was. He felt that he could still move. He did his best to hug her and was surprised to feel Marionette's legs wrapped around his waist, pulling them down to hers. As much as I want to have a CC as well, I'm going to wait until your shift. People will start looking for you, she quickly said. Danny sighs. Kind of glad that Marionette didn't want to have SEC right now. He had no idea how he was going to explain that should someone find him. So, how are things with Charlie? He asked. We've been getting along well. Charlie treats me very much like a sister. She told me that she thought of me as her imagined friend when she was little. Marionette said. Huh. I didn't know that. Danny said. Yeah, she even dressed up as me during Halloween once. Looked just like me when she showed me the picture. Marionette laughs. Danny felt Marionette pull him closer and saw her close her eyes. She based me off of her a lot but made sure I was my own person. We were alike in many ways. I'm glad to meet her. Marionette said, smiling. And I'm glad to meet you, too, she said, kissing him. Danny was surprised but soon kissed back. Marionette broke the kiss before reaching up and opened her box. She helped Danny out and smiles at him. Thank you. I needed someone to talk to in there, she said. Sure, and I forgive you, he said, smiling. See you tonight? She asked. Sure. Do you want me to do here? Danny asked, knowing what she wanted. Please. And don't worry, I'll make sure you will be able to breathe, Marionette said, diving back inside her box. The lid closed and Danny sighs. He had a pretty good feeling tonight was going to be different. He left the gift shop and notices Sam and Tucker were at the convention. Guys? What are you doing here? He asked. Sam is trying to get the convention to close down, Tucker said, groaning. And I'm trying to stop her, he quickly added. Is this because of what we said yesterday? Danny asked. How could you, Danny? Sam said, glaring at him. Sam. Danny started but Sam didn't listen. You're turning your back on us because some things are making you, she said. Danny facepalm, leave it to Sam to miss the point he was saying yesterday. For crying out loud. Move on. I'm not turning my back on anyone. Sam, I'm not going to rush into your arms because you save me from this place. I like the girls and they like me. Trying to close down this place is not going to work, Danny told her. And I told you that I'm on my way to earning someone's forgiveness. Maybe even get my ban lifted, Tucker added. Guys. Sam started. Don't. Both of them shouted. It's not happening, Sam. I'm done. Danny said, glaring at her. And you need to move on with your life already. Tucker added. Is everything okay out here? The three turned and saw Charlie walking out the doors. Sorry about that, Charlie. My friends decided to come over. Danny said. Charlie looked at them and knew who they were. Sam Manson. I have been getting reports from the parents that you're trying to stop kids from having birthdays here. She said, glaring at the goth. So. Have you seen the girls? Sam asked. They were made by my father, who was thought of by Danny's father, Charlie said, crossing her arms. Tucker Foley, the boy that was banned due to touching Chica even after being told to stop many times. She said, looking at him. I'm not here to cause any trouble. I came to stop Sam from trying to get this place to close down. Tucker said. And he's on his way to earn Chica's forgiveness, Danny added. He did tell Charlie that he had to call Tucker to remove the codes from the girls and Chica was willing to forgive him if he earned it. So far, Tucker was willing too. Charlie nodded. She understand what was told to her. And don't think I don't know about the time you tried to trespass here. Danny did a good job on that, and I'm giving you the same warning I have Mr. Baxter. Keep doing this and you will be arrested. Charlie said. Sam looked ready to argue but notices that her friends were not on her side. Why? She asked. Did you even stop to think that maybe you're in the wrong? Danny asked. What? I'm never wrong. Sam said, but both Danny and Tucker rolled their eyes. Sam, stop. Go home. Even if your parents don't like me, they like how you're acting even less. I'm willing to stay as friends, but you're really pushing it. If you can't let go of your stupid pride, then we might as well be done with it all. Danny said. And that goes double for me too, Tucker said. What? Sam asked. You heard me. Unless you changed your ways, I don't want you anywhere close to me. Danny told her. The same goes for me too. It's high time you learn what your actions bring you. Tucker said. Sam couldn't believe both of her friends were turning their backs on her. After everything they've been through, they're turning her down. Miss Manson. This will be your last warning. Come near the convention without a soil good reason, and you will be kicked out and arrested. Charlie told her. Sam knew she was outnumbered. With no other choice, Sam turned and left, still not believing her friends would turn their backs on her. Both Danny and Tucker sighed. They knew Sam. She did have a better chance of turning herself around. All they have to do was wait. Do you boys want to come in? Charlie asked. Are you sure? Tucker asked, knowing he was still banned. Just for today. You and Chica can talk in the kitchen without anyone listening. She said. Tucker thought about it and nodded. He has grown since then and he really did want to earn Chica's forgiveness. Okay, boys. Let's head inside. Charlie said. Midnight. Danny returned to the convention at the start of his shift. Tucker and Chica did talk and though Chica still didn't fully forgive him, she was glad that he was keeping his hands to himself. Charlie informed Michael about Sam and he agreed with her course of action. However, it was now time for him to meet up with Marionette. The other girls wished him luck and hoped that she would let him breathe. Danny entered the gift shop and knocked on her box. Come in. The lid pop open and Danny sighs. He carefully climbed into the box before two white hands grabbed him and pulled him down. The lid closes as soon as he was pulled in. It then popped back open a little as clothes were thrown out. It soon closed again, telling the sign that they were not to be disturbed until opening time. Danny was shocked to find himself without his clothes as well as seeing Marionette's fully white body. Danny also found himself face first in her BRST and his clock already pushed in her PP with her legs wrapped around him. "Thank you, Danny," she said, using her legs to make him move. Danny was able to push his face free, looking at Marionette's lovesick face. "Marionette, how long have you been waiting for this?" he asked, surprised to see how into it she was. "Since day one. I wanted you to F me since we first kissed. But I couldn't do it because I can stay out of my box for too long. I'm hoping that by becoming human I can stay out as long as I want," Marionette said, groaning a little. Danny sighs. He soon starts thrusting by himself, making her mm. "Oh, this feels so much better. I would sometimes have just my fingers and hands to get me to relax. But now that you're here, it's better than I even dreamed," she said, loudly. "Are you sure I can breathe in here?" Danny asked. "Don't worry, I made sure ahead of time. Now please, don't stop," Marionette said, sounding way different from the past nights he spoke to her. Danny just sighs, deciding to let both of them enjoy it for now. Danny's house, 8 a.m. Let's see, Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, Foxy, BB, and Marionette. The only ones left are Mangle, Spring Bonnie, and maybe Freebear. Danny said, thinking over his nights. 9 girls. 9 nights of section. Have I really gotten lucky since working there? He asked himself. Danny knew he needed to ask the other 3 if they even planned on having SEC with him. He also heard his phone ring and saw Sam's number. Groaning, Danny picked it up. "What, Sam?" he said, knowing this was the 5th time she called him today. "Danny, please. I'm not quitting, getting myself fired, or any other ideas you think I should follow. I told you over and over again, Sam. I moved on. So stop calling me," Danny told her, hanging up. He even blocked her number, thinking he should change it to keep Sam from calling him. At least until she stops doing this. Danny looked at the clock, knowing this was his last day of high school. He also knew the girls could be planning a party for him, as BB once told him. "Now that I think about it, I never was invited to a party," he said, grabbing his stuff. Casper High, noon. "Well, at least I won't miss this," Danny said, preferring Chica's cooking over the school. "Hey, dude," Tucker said, sitting next to him. "Hey, Tucker, ready to finally get away from this school?" Danny asked. "You bet. Shame I didn't get a girlfriend," he said, sighing. "What about Valerie?" Danny asked, knowing Tucker had a crush on her. "She doesn't even notice me." Tucker sighs. "So, how's everyone at the place?" Tucker asked. "Planning a party for me, no doubt," Danny said, imagining the girls preparing everything. "Do you think she'll forgive me?" Tucker asked. "Chica told them about your talk with her. You know that one event won't go away so quickly. After all, you kept doing it, even after being told to stop," Danny told him. Tucker groans, hating that everyone was holding that over his head. Still, he knew it was his fault and he was working his way up it. "So, where's Sam?" Danny asked, having not seen her all day. "Don't know. But I would be ready for anything. She's way too stubborn for her good," Tucker said. "Yeah. I know." Danny sighs. Amine convention, might night. Danny walked out of the locker room, wearing his night guard outfit. He was a bit surprised to see no one waiting for him, but had a feeling they were waiting for him in the main room. He headed there and saw the girls waiting for him. Yay! He's an adult now. BB cheered, jumping up and down. Danny did his best not to stare at her bouncing melons before Freddy blocked his view and kissed him. "How does it feel to be an adult?" she asked, hugging him. "Well, I have to get back to you on that," Danny joked, making her smile. Marionette walked up to him and handed him a present. "Thanks," he said, making her smile. She was then shocked when Danny kissed her. "Come on. I've got plenty for those that want to," he said, surprising the others. Sure enough, Chica, Bonnie, Foxy, and BB all got their kisses from Danny. Mangle stood behind the group, clearly fighting herself. Spring Bonnie and Fredbear both noticed and walked up to her. "Are you okay, Mangy?" Spring Bonnie asked. "And no," she said, shaking her head. "What's wrong?" Fredbear asked. Mangle really didn't know how to explain it. She really wanted to ask him, but she was too scared to do so. Like the others, she did love Danny and liked how kind he was. Unlike the others, she was very unsure about asking him for section. "You want to F him, don't you?" Spring Bonnie said, shocking her. "Hey, remember, I raped him on our first meeting. It's not my fault that my glitch was never fixed. He knew I had one and just kept putting it off. And had me RPE Michael," Spring Bonnie said, frowning. "And yet, Danny has told us that we would never force anyone into anything they don't want to do," Fearbear added. "I may not have been here long, but I do see why everyone here likes him. I'm sure he would understand," she added. Mangle took a breath, understanding what they were telling her. Danny was different than the other night guards that stayed here. While it happened before she came, Danny was the only night guard to make it through all 5 nights and kept coming after that. Even after SEC with the others, he still kept coming. "I'll ask him," she said, trying to look brave. "Remember, Mangle, he won't do it if you're still uncomfortable," Spring Bonnie said, making her nod. She walked over after Freddy took another kiss. "Ahoy, Mangle. Came to get a kiss yourself?" Foxy said, seeing her. "Well, she tried to say, getting cold feet." "Go on, his lips are amazing," Freddy said, pushing her towards him. Mangle tripped over her feet before she fell into Danny. She looked up and wished she could blush. "Do you want a kiss, Mangle?" Danny asked. She knew he was asking to make sure. She nodded before reaching up to him, closing her eyes. Through surprise, Danny kissed her, surprising Mangle. Mangle didn't let up. His lips were too good. She even started to press her body on him, making the others notice. "She has it bad." Chica smiles. "Just like Freddy." Bonnie smiles. "Mangle, let him breathe," Freddy said, making her break it. She just laid her head on his chest before taking a breath. "Will you have CC with me?" she asked. Danny blinks in surprise. He didn't think Mangle would ask him now. If anything, he thought she would wait until she was the last one. "Well, I'm not saying I wasn't expecting you to ask me, but I thought you would wait longer," Danny said. Mangle started. "It's okay, Mangle. To be honest, I'm also waiting for Spring Bonnie and possibly Fredbear to ask me as well," Danny told her. Everyone looked at him surprised. "Hey, I already had a CC with 6 of you. It's only fair to think that the others will ask at some point," Danny told them. "True," Freddy said, thinking. "Well, I do need to check if my glitch is fixed," Spring Bonnie said. "And I'm still working out my feelings toward you," Fredbear added. "She's all yours," they said, smiling. Danny shook his head. Freddy then walks up and kisses him again. "Treat her like you did with us," she said before they all left. Danny sighs, seeing that Mangle didn't let go. "What to head to your cove?" he asked her. Mangle nodded and let Danny walk her to her cove. Mangle's cove. Mangle never let go of Danny. The way he held her felt a lot different than the men who grabbed her. She also was getting the feeling that this hug was to keep her safe, not keep her trapped. "Mangle, are you sure you want to do this?" Danny asked, breaking her from her thoughts. "Remember, if you don't feel ready, I won't force you," he told her. "I know. But I don't want to be scared of you. You have been nothing kind to all of us. I know that you would never force us into anything against our wishes, and I like that about you," she said, smiling. Danny smiled back before Mangle started to lead him deeper into her cove, behind the curtain. Danny was surprised to see that unlike BB's, Mangle didn't have a bed but a desk like his own. "I come back here to draw and color. I have kind of been drawing you," Mangle said, looking shy. Danny notices one of the pictures of him, sitting at his desk, looking into the screens. Another shows him talking to Freddy and a third has him eating pizza with Chica. He soon saw pictures of him and Bonnie listening to music, he and Foxy pretending to be pirates, him and Marionette putting on a show for the kids and having him sit down and talk with Spring Bonnie and Feedbear. "I may have let my mind draw out with the others," Mangle said, sheepishly. "It's fine, Mangle. Honestly, I can see myself doing these things with the others," he said. He then notices another picture, this time with him and Mangle. The picture shows them hugging each other with a heart drawn around them. Mangle said, looking a bit embarrassed. "Nice drawing, Mangle," he said, surprising her. "You're not mad?" she asked. "I'm more surprised than mad." "You like me that much?" Danny asked. "Yes. I know that Freddy claimed you first, but you were so nice to everyone. I couldn't help it. I love you, Danny," Mangle said. Looking away. Danny smiles before walking up to Mangle. He hugged her, much like he saw in her picture. His arms wrapped around her waist as she laid her head on his chest. Mangle then placed her arms around his shoulders, smiling. "So, how do you want to do it?" Danny asked her. "Let's clean off my desk," Mangle said, walking over to it. She picked up all her drawings and stacked them neatly into her drawers. She then leaned on it before looking back at Danny. "I'm ready," she said, making him walk up. "Let me know if it becomes too much," Danny told her. He rubs his pants on Mangle's panties, knowing he needs to build up first. Mangle relaxed, knowing he wouldn't hurt her. After a few minutes, Danny felt his pants stretched inside. "Are you ready, Mangle?" he asked. "Yeah. And I do have a balloon in me," she told him. "Do you want me to take my clothes off?" Danny asked her. Mangle thought about it before shaking her head. "No, you can F me with them on," she said, making him nod. "Okay. Here we go," he said, undoing his pants and pulls out his PP. He moved Mangle's panties before sticking his PP into her PP, making her groan. "Oh my! It's really big," Mangle said, surprised she could feel it. "I'm surprised I could fit," Danny said before looking at her. "Ready? I'm going to start slow," he asked her. "Go ahead," she said, nodding. Danny slowly started thrusting, making Mangle groan. She was finally having SEC after hearing the stories of the others. And to think that Danny was treating her so gently. She then felt him pick up the pace, recalling that others say he starts getting into it after a while. She didn't stop him, she just as he grabbed her peach and started ramming into her. "Oh! Danny! Breathe that! Breathe feels! Breathe good!" she said, Danny didn't say anything. He was far into this cute vixen. He started to move faster, making Mangle cry out as her desk started to bounce as well. Danny could feel it gushing and move one last time, trying to get as deep as he could before he leaked inside Mangle. Danny panted as he finally stopped. He looked up and saw Mangle laying her head down, no doubt enjoying the feeling. "Mangle?" he asked, seeing her lift her head. "I'm okay." "Oh, that was so good," she said, pushing herself up. Danny suddenly found himself falling into a chair as Mangle sat on him. She soon started bouncing herself, wanting to feel more. "Please, F me more," she asked. Danny sighs before getting one thought. "This is going to take all night, isn't it?" He grabbed Mangle's peach again before trusting once more. 5 a.m. Danny was still sitting in the chair with Mangle facing him as he moved into her again and again. Though she told him to keep his clothes on, Danny's clothes were thrown to the floor as Mangle kept riding him. Get on, almost there. Give me the big one," Mangle said, hugging her body around him. "Mangle!" Danny cried out, leaking in her again. "Yes. Oh. Yes." Mangle cried out. Danny panted as Mangle laid on him, both of them tired from their lovemaking. "It's 5 in the morning, isn't it?" Danny asked. Mangle nodded, knowing they F all night. "How do you keep up with us?" she asked. "I have no idea," Danny said, picking Mangle up. "But the convention opens in an hour. We better clean up," he said, making her nod. Danny set her down before leaks again, surprising them. "Sorry, I guess I wasn't done," he said, blushing. "It's okay," she said, pulling herself off of his PP. The others were right. "I feel like my balloon will burst if we went for another hour," she thought, seeing the juices spill out. She then smiles before turning around and hugging Danny, surprising him. "Thank you," she said. "You're welcome." So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for more crossovers. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author Phantom Fan 21 on FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.